never in my lifetime has the world ever needed what it is that I'm about to deliver to you all today. And I'm very grateful for the millions of dollars that I've made and the millions of dollars that I've lost. I'm very grateful for all the what some people would call tragedies in life, episodes in life, incidences, you name it. I'm very grateful for every single one of those because they brought me to where I am today to be able to help people over those. The objective here today is I want to leave you feeling empowered, inspired, excited, encouraged, wiser, and almost to the feeling of you are rich. I remember when I went to a seminar and I didn't make a penny more from the time I walked into the door to the time that seminar was done, I felt rich. And the reason why is because I knew it. I just knew more than anything in me. I wish you could see my skin crawling. I knew more than anything in me that what I had just learned was going to give me the tools and the skills that I needed to change my life. And I knew that I was on the right path. I felt rich. And that's what I want you guys to leave here with today. Okay, I want to talk to you about my parents. I am one of the last generations of parents that are growing up that are have stock options, retirement pensions, and can take care of themselves. I am of that one of the last generations. My dad and my mother both worked for the same industry for 40-something years of their life, the same companies, 40-something years. My dad was in the General Telephone, which is telephone GTE, if you guys even know what GTE is. And my mom was in the banking industry. Those days of people working 40-something years for a job are gone. They don't exist anymore. They are very, very, very few and far between, especially with the times that we're living in now, because there's so many people competing for whatever job is available. They can keep recycling people to lower the pay and get higher qualifications. Lower the pay, higher quality of pay. Lower the pay, higher quality of pay. And let's just bring them on all at part-time so we don't have to pay them benefits. I used to pay my employees 401ks, stock options. We had the best medical benefits you could get. That's what I used to provide as an employer. And I remember in the crash of 2008, when we had to let the 401ks go and just had to little bit by little bit keep shaving things away until they were, then we started taking away their pay and taking away commissions and percentages. So I understand that game because that's what has to happen. For those of you that are upset because you think you got furloughed or that you've been cut back on, it's just a trickle down effect that has to happen in business. Trust me when I tell you that bosses are torn up inside when they have to let somebody go that's been with them for years, that they love, that they've built a relationship, and they've watched their children be born and they're godparents to their children and all that. I know what that's like. I know what it's like because it happened to me back in the crash of 2008. Okay, so we're going to talk about that and the lessons that I learned of how I was able to so young make millions of dollars. And then I'm going to talk about how I lost it. I'm going to help you guys understand now. So my parents are my mom we will never have to worry about my mom. As you guys know, I take care, or if you don't, I take care of my father and my mother-in-law. I've got my mom, who we will never have to take care of because she has 401ks. My mom was a council member for her city, for the city where we grew up. So she even has retirement with the city. So she has retirement from her job. She has Those are things that people used to get. They just don't exist anymore. So believe it or not, she's got full medical benefits for her life. She's got all that. Then my dad, he has from his company and he's a veteran. So he's got that too. And then I have my mother-in-law, who my mother-in-law has nothing. Okay, so we take care of my mother-in-law. I get to watch what happens to my mother-in-law. My dad's in the middle, and then I have my mom. 3 elders that we take care of. And I want to tell you how messed up this system is, just so that you can understand why you need to learn how to make your own economy, and you need to learn how to control yourself and not rely on our system. So 4 years ago, they were building a senior living complex out here in San Diego. And for the heck of it, we put all of our parents' names on the list, just to put their names on the list. And so then they called us about 6 or 7 months ago and said, okay, we're opening. And we're like, wow, awesome. Okay. And so it's a beautiful brand new facility, absolutely gorgeous here in San Diego. So we filled out the applications just for the heck of it. And my mother-in-law, she qualified for $600 a month rent in this beautiful state-of-the-art place. So my mother-in-law qualified for that. I'm very thankful for that because we take care of her. My dad, who makes just enough, didn't qualify. So his rent is full rent. So my dad didn't qualify because he makes just enough, but he doesn't make enough to have an abundant living. So we make up for the rest of that. Okay, now why am I painting this picture for you guys? Because I want you to understand what your future is going to look like. Who's going to take care of your parents? If they're like my mother, you don't have to worry about it. If they're like my dad, you're going to have to worry about it at some point because there's only just enough to pay just enough. And if you're like the mother-in-law, someone's got to take care of her. And if it's not you, then who? So I want you to think about your parents. My dad was not in my life growing up. I did not ever know that my dad would come back into my life and that I would be his caregiver, ever. So for those of you that have parents and you're not close, you do not know what the future holds. Because if something happens to your parents, are you going to let them go homeless before you step in to take care of them? And I'm going to say this a lot of times. If it's not you, then who? If it's not you, then who? I want you to really stop and think about that. If something happens to my husband, if it's not me, who's going to take care of him? If something happens to our child, if it's not me, then who? If it's not my husband, then who? So if something happens to one of our parents, if it's not me, if something happens to one of your family members, hopefully you have a rich aunt or you're coming into some inheritance. If you do, you're lucky. But most people don't, okay? So I know that my parents are going to be okay because I learned how to make money. In the end of the day, it matters about money. That's what it matters about. People say money doesn't buy happiness. I promise you, I've been with money and I've been without money. Money buys happiness. People who don't have money are selfish. People who have money are selfless. It is important that you learn how to make money so that you can be the one for your family. Take ownership for your family. Now, I've been face down in gutters, broke as a joke. I've gone from having millions of dollars, having $100,000 in my savings account with a Hummer and a Porsche and a BMW and a 26-foot boat and you name it, all the toys, all the cars, and I've lost it all. I've lost it all. And I'm going to talk to you about why I lost it because it's very clear to me now how I could have prevented it. I'm very grateful now that that happened. If I hadn't have lost those things, I wouldn't have been able to travel the world for the last 10 years to all the places in the world that I've traveled. And there's a reason why, because I was owned by my business. And we're going to talk about that too. Okay. So I want you to think about your children. Those of you who have children, what are you doing so that your child doesn't have to be responsible for you? What are you doing? If right now, the life that you are living right this minute, the way that you're making money, if you're 20 years older, who's taking care of you? Whose burden are you? Whose burden are you becoming? Are you your children's burden? I want to talk about those types of things. And I'm being hardcore because it opens your eyes and it makes you realize, because we're like, crap, man, I never even thought about that. You know what else we don't think about? Here's something else that we don't think about. If you own a business and your business already sucks and it struggles and you've worked your whole life at that business and that's what you're training your children to take over, what are you doing to your children? You're setting your children up for your life only harder. I was building a legacy for my daughter. I was building these beautiful salons. For those of you that don't know, I was in the top 200, it's right there, top 200 fastest growing salons in the country. I was going to train my daughter how to do hair. I was going to build her life. She was going to inherit all these millions of dollars of completely established businesses. Basically, what I was doing was I was building a nightmare of debt and overhead for my daughter. If that had continued, if the 2008 crash hadn't have come and put me out of business because of like the world today, people are not getting their hair done right now. People that own salons are going through what I went through right now out there in the world. It was the blessing in disguise. It was the worst time in my life. I was crying myself to sleep. To those of you that are crying yourself to sleep every night right now, you're praying to God for a way to keep your home. You're throwing up at night, but you're putting your smile on to the world. You can't even figure out how to pay for your gardener or your pool man or the cleaning ladies anymore. You're laying off people left and right. My heart goes out to you. What I want you to know is you're going to be okay. You're going to land on higher ground. You're going to reinvent your life. You already know how a few things are done. And I'm going to teach you how to visually see what's happening in your life is all part of a process. We're all on a path. Every single one of us are on a path. We're just at a different place in the path. Okay? And so, all right, hold on. My parents. Now, you guys hear me talk a lot about a yes life. In the end of the day, that's really what I'm teaching you. I'm teaching you how to have a yes life. Yes life is when you don't have to say, let me ask the boss, or no, I can't because I don't have the money, or no, I can't because I don't have the time. When we retired in 2008, in 2009, we decided that we were going to move out of Palm Springs where it was 120 degrees and I had lived there my whole life. I'd never been on a vacation. My whole family's buried in the same cemetery. My whole family was born there. They were all going to die there. And when you own a business, that's the way the story goes. You don't go places. I mean, you go to the river on the weekend and you go to the beach on the weekend, but you don't live in other places and you don't travel the world and you don't do things when you own a business, especially a hair salon. A transaction-based business requires your attention to be present. So when we retired, when we were introduced to network marketing in 2008, and then I ended up retiring and reinventing my life in 2009, we said, we don't have to live here anymore. Let's move. Okay, where do you want to move? I don't know, I've never been anywhere. Oh, okay. I'd never been to the snow. I never went to the beach. I was 200 pounds at 13. You don't go to the beach when you're 200 pounds at 13. I didn't go to work. I worked. I immersed myself into working. I wanted to get married when I was 16. My parents would not sign the paperwork. They made me wait till I was 18. I got married the day after my 18th birthday. I was offered $10,000 not to get married. I should have taken the money. And 2 weeks later, I was annulled and back home. So that was my first mistake, marriage. But now it's a lesson for me because I get to teach from it. That I should have took the money. No. Damn. No, I had to go through it. And put stuff like this on your dream board, because these are things you don't even think of until somebody like me tells you it's possible. In 3 days, we sat there on the couch and said, would it be crazy if we just went? Like, let's just go on a 1-year vacation and go see all the states to see where we want to live. I've never been anywhere. And we said, I guess let's do it. Why not? And in 3 days, we let everything in our house go. Back then, it was on Craigslist. You guys remember Craigslist? We did Craigslist. And as people came in the front door, we did estate set. When they came in the front door, we said to every person that walked in the front door, offer us what you want and pay it forward one day. We didn't have any prices for anything. Offer us what you want, pay it forward one day. After 3 days, we put the rest of the big stuff in a storage, and we went to Las Vegas, and we always say, and we put it all on black, but that's not what we did. We went to Las Vegas, and we leased for 1 year $1 million home on wheels. And we went for 1 year, completely unplugged around the country, just my husband, myself, and my daughter. And let me tell you, this was before homeschooling was a thing. The school system told us we were bad parents. The school system told us nobody does that. Literally, the school system told us that. And so we went for 1 year and we stopped all over the country. And my husband homeschooled my daughter, our daughter, she's our daughter, from life itself, going from place to place to place to place. You have to first say, oh my gosh, I want to do that. It's possible. It can be done. I'm going to do that. And you have to believe it. You have to believe it in your mind. You have to visually see it. You have to want it. And then you have to do it. That was one of the best years of our entire life. And I found a newfound understanding for gypsies. Gypsies are not weird people. Gypsies are the ones that are free. They're the ones that figured it out. They learned what real freedom is. We are taught that you get 2 weeks a year, 4 weeks a year, 6 weeks if you're lucky and you have a good job. That's what we're taught. That's not what reality is. That's what the system says it is. Okay? Okay, now this one, you're going to want a fresh piece of paper because I'm going to teach you something. I'm going to show you why it is that most children can't move out. And especially right now, with the way that we're living, in the world that we're living in. Right now, our parents and grandparents have to work our children's jobs. Back in the day, people retired when they were 65. That doesn't exist anymore. It's going away. And so therefore, people are having to work till they're 70 and 80 and 90 years old. I know people that are 90 years old working. And the reason why is because they don't have retirement. They don't have the money to afford to not work. They can't make it on Social Security anymore. And I'm going to show you why you live paycheck to paycheck if you do, why your children are not going to be able to move out and live on their own, or why they're stuck, or why they're having to move back home. Okay? I did this 12 years ago. It's on my YouTube channel, actually. I did this 12 years ago, and I said, Rick, you're shaking your head. You know exactly what I'm going to do. and Daryl. And when I did this 12 years ago, I said, there's going to be inventions that we haven't even thought of that are going to start costing monthly fees. And those things are now a reality. Okay. So let's talk about a few things. What are some things that people pay every month? And I'm going to start with rent or mortgage. Rent.
Cell phone.
Mortgage. Cell phone. Electricity. What is electricity? Gas and water.
Internet.
Trash.
Cable. Michael. HOA.
Internet, cable.
Phone apps.
HOA. App. Gas in the car. Car payment.
Insurance.
Car payment. Insurance. Okay, we'll stop there.
Food.
Yeah. Okay. So watch this. I'm gonna do food, entertainment, and college debt. Okay.
Medication.
Now, I want you guys to do this. I want you to do this for your life. Play with me, please. Okay. So I'm just going to use small hypothetical numbers, but I want you to do your own. Rent or mortgage. I'm going to go really low out here in California, $3,000. Actually, I'll take it to $2,000. And then I'm going to do cell phone. Now, when you do cell phone, I want you to think about how many cell phones are on your cell phone bill that you're paying. Are you paying for a family of 5? Get what I'm talking about? So do your math on your cell phone. So even if it's 200, and let's say electricity is only 150, and gas and water, I'm going really conservative. Internet and cable, 100. HOA, I'm going to leave that even blank because I'm not. Apps, $50. Gas, 200 a month. Car payment, we're going really low, 200 a month. And wait, how many cars are you paying for? How many cars are under your household that you're responsible for? And insurance, let's just say it's 100. I'm going super low here, you guys. And I really want you to do this because I want you to participate in your answer because it will blow your mind. So we're going to go calculator here, and I'm going to do my own. So this alone right here is $6,100. $6,100. What are some of your other numbers that you guys came up with total?
We're coming up with 3,400 by Katrina, 1,484 Jennifer, 1,375 Linda, 2,890 Lynn, 2,000 Jeanette, 3,800 Tracy, 4,200 Kimberly, 4,500 Leonie, 1,370 Jamie.
Okay, now thank you. You guys, I want you to realize that those numbers do not include your groceries, no food, no eating out, any college bills. Imagine if you want to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or maybe date somebody and you want to take them to dinner. Do you get what I'm talking about? So even if, look at these numbers, 6,000, 3,000, 3,000, 2,500, and this is without any entertainment or extras. This is without chipping a tooth because you don't have to, you have to fix your own teeth, okay? Just imagine you need a root canal. You got to pay for that root canal. What if you get some flat tires on your car? Get it? Do you get what I'm talking about? So now watch this. Now, let's just say, now mind you, look at these numbers. I'm going to go super low. Mine was 6,000. I see a lot of 6,000s. This would be 8,000 or 10,000 if you added the food. This doesn't even talk about tithing at church. If you don't have money, how can you tithe? How can you go shopping and buy new clothes? Christmas time just happened. Where did you get the money for Christmas time? We didn't even talk about your credit card bills. Do you guys get what I'm talking about here? Now watch this. Let's just take a low number, not even a high number, $4,000. What is $4,000 times 12? Yes, I have to use a calculator. $48,000. $48,000. $48,000. I'm not going to ask you to drop a comment on here if you don't even make $48,000 a year, because I know that a lot of people on this call do not know how to make $48,000 a year. This right here proves to you that if you don't learn what I'm going to teach you next, which is how money is made, your children are not moving out. Because how are they going to make that money if mom and dad can't make that money? This is a serious thing that's happening right now in our time, in our world, you guys, because the world out there is not going to get more abundant. What's a $600 stimulus going to do for us? It's going to affect our grandchildren is what it's going to do for us. It's going to cause more harm on our grandchildren. And what I want you to know is there is an abundance of money in the world to be made when you learn how to find it and align yourself and how to create it. Okay, so that's where we're going next. You're going to love this next part, and this one is going to take some really undivided attention. And by the way, to let you know too, what I'm gonna go through, at the end of this is I'm gonna go through with you guys all 11 streams of income that come into this family, how we make money in 11 different ways, and how each one of those, by the time I get to that section, you're gonna be able to identify what type of money it is, how it flows, how it's created, and how it grows, okay? That's my goal. And you guys should do this for real numbers with your family. Sit down with your children. We did this with our daughter. Our daughter knows how to draw this up. Our daughter knows how much money she needs to make before she can move out. She already knows how much rent is going to cost and how much her overhead is. And she already knows how money's made. She gets this. Teach this to your children, but you got to learn it first, okay? And by the way, I have this on my YouTube channel. If you guys ever want to see it, where you have it to show your children by a third party versus you having to tell your children, it's on my YouTube channel. Can you see my face?
Yes.
Okay, this is my website, you guys. It's darlad.com. And over here under training, right here under personal development. These are books that I have been written up in. And if you would have told me one day that I'd be being written about in books, I wouldn't have believed you, because my life was a hairdresser, okay? My life was a hairdresser. It was in 2019, parts of my life story started being written about in personal development books. Had you have told me in 2008, when I picked up my first personal development book, that I'd be featured in books one day, I wouldn't have believed you. That our brain is like our bodies. What we feed it shapes our life. If you eat 10 cookies a day, and our body will take a certain shape. Same goes for our brain. You cannot become a master to a subject or a topic by reading 10 pages of a book, but you can by reading 10 pages a day for 1 year. That's 3,650 pages, which is approximately 10 books. But what matters most is, what books are you reading? It was in 2008 that I began to change the voice in my head by shutting off my TV, switching music CDs for personal development CDs, getting rid of negative people in my life, and feeding my brain daily. Still today, there is not one single day of my life that I do not feed my brain something positive, uplifting, and knowledgeable from a mentor or a millionaire. I crave it. And I'm telling you that because I want you to learn where I learned this from, okay? So I'm gonna share with you a quick story. When I went to my first millionaire mindset workshop in Kansas, I saw this, there was this promotion, I don't even know where it was. Go listen to these millionaires speak and get a millionaire mindset. And it was in Kansas. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna go. And so I went to this, and it was just this little get together. But on the stage was this guy who I ended up becoming a friend with. He spoke like a cowboy, and he had a cowboy on. He had really tight jeans, and he'd made millions of dollars. And he talked about how he was a high school dropout. And I was like, wow, he was a high school dropout. I was a high school dropout. And he said, I'll leave y'all with a challenge today that'll change your life if you'll stick to the challenge. And you guys, I want to give you this challenge. And what he said was, take 30 days, take all of your, back then it was cassette tapes, because that's what we had in our car, cassette tapes. Take all the cassette tapes out of your car and unplug your TV. And we were like, what? And he said, read books and watch videos on personal development. And they gave us a list. And this is the list that I'm going to share with you guys. So I want you to screenshot it when I bring it back. But I will tell you this, that 1 month has been 12 years in my life. I have not turned on a radio in a car in 12 years. Matter of fact, when we go tour cars and they say, oh, this is a $7,000 Bose high-end, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this surround sound. I don't even know what all the words are, but they talk up what the system is. I didn't really call it. I say to them, how much is something like that? And my husband gets so embarrassed because he knows what I'm going to do. And they say, oh, this is $8,000. This is $12,000. I'm like, perfect. Take it out and take it off the price. And they look at me like I'm crazy, this crazy woman. What do you mean take it out? I'm like, yeah, I don't want it in my car. Take it out. And then I'm like, I'm just kidding, but still, it's that real. Okay, so hold on and let me share my screen again. Okay, so here it is. And you guys are more than welcome to go get this page off my website because all of it is on here. Now, this was my first book I ever read, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You guys, I'm here to tell you this book will start the transformation of your life to help you understand why you may be rich or why you may be poor. That was my life story. When I read that book, I was like, oh my God, that's my life. My parents were both good people, they just didn't have a lot of money. We didn't go on vacations and do elaborate things and do things like that. But I was very fortunate that my best friends were rich and I got to taste that life. We went everywhere in limousines. Both of their parents were present. We played games every night with the family. We would go into restaurants to 5-star dining places and they would know all of our names. I got to experience that life growing up with that family. Then the secret, I'm telling you, if you will watch these and read these, they will change your life. So these are the most common ones. This one right here, the cash flow quadrant right here, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the one that changed my life of learning how money is made. It opened my eyes, and that's what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to open your eyes to how money is made. These are podcasts, some of my favorite podcast shows. So this is all here for your knowledge, for your using. Okay, so here's what we're going to draw out. Now, a lot of people have watched videos where you see the cash flow quadrant. You've watched videos that have it in the thing, but you don't understand it. I'm going to break it down in a way that you'll understand it. I want you to be able to do what I'm doing. I want you to be able to draw out and understand what you're talking about, because a lot of us understand words. Like the word residual income. I had heard of the word residual income, but when someone asked me, what is residual income? I was like, I don't really even know. I don't know. I don't know it. And then I had heard the word leverage, but I was like, I don't really know what it means. That's what a lot of us do is we hear a word, we know how to use it in a sentence, but we don't know what the word means. And that's what I want to do is break these things down for you. Okay, I love drawing this thing out. I've drawn this thing out on thousands of napkins in my lifetime because I want people so bad to understand how money works, how money moves. Okay, so this is the division of money. This is where 5% of people in the world live, and this is where 95% of people in the world live. Okay, this is the division of the sides of where money works. Now, this is the first one, and this stands for employee. And you guys should draw this out while I'm doing it so you can draw it out and have it and stick it on your mirror and start writing where you are and where you're going to go and where you're going to live. And I'm going to take you on my journey so that you can see how I learned how to make money and why it was easy for me to make millions, lose millions, make millions, lose millions, and why I lost it and how I prevented that from happening in my life. Okay, so this stands for employee. An employee is somebody who goes to work at a job and trades an hour of their time for an hour of dollars. Children start as employees. This is the beginning place in all of our lives that we learn how to make money in. Okay, step 1, employee. We trade time for money. Okay, so this is where we start. I was a hairdresser. That's where I started my job. I worked at Kmart. I worked at Payless Shoe Store, and I made minimum wage at each one of those jobs. That's a job. I was an employee. I got told what to do. It is documented and it's proven you cannot make millions of dollars as an employee. It doesn't exist. You cannot make enough money per hour to add up to making millions of dollars, okay? But this is where we start. Then after here is self-employed. Self-employed. Now, I want you guys to really understand what this means. An employee is somebody who gets paid an hourly wage. I'm going to use myself as an example. I was a hairdresser. I got paid an hourly wage to cut hair. That was my job. I had to do what they told me to do. I had to show up when they told me to work. And I could not make more money until it was time for a raise. That was my job. Who has a job? I have a job. Drop it in the comments. I am an employee. If you're an employee, I want to know if you're an employee. I am an employee. Okay, then somebody taught me, I want to teach you something. Don't work for the boss, be the boss. Work for the boss only long enough to learn what he does so that you can become what he is and be better than what he is because you have the skills to learn how to do what he does better, okay? Don't work for the boss, become the boss. So here, you're the boss. Now, I was a hairdresser. When I became self-employed, all I did is rent a station. I rented a chair in another salon where I could be rental. You guys have heard of that? Rental. I became my own boss. So all it meant is now I'm keeping 100% of my own monies that I'm making off the hair instead of an hourly wage. But I'm still owned by the employee. I'm my own boss. I'm my own employee. I'm still employed by myself. That's what self-employed is. You are employed by yourself. It's still a job. If I don't show up, I don't get paid. This is why it's on this side of the quadrant. Wealth is not created on this side of the quadrant. You cannot retire on this side of the quadrant. If I have to show up to cut hair, I can't retire. Anybody who's on this side. So if you are self-employed on this side of the quadrant, I want you to drop self-employed. Self-employed, which means you're your own boss. If you don't show up for work, you're not making money. You are self-employed. Okay, this is what makes this side of the equation work. Okay, now hold on to me for just a second. While I was here, I knew that I was going to kill myself. I was wearing my back out, and I was like, I need help. I'm going to die standing behind this chair. I'm working 16 hours a day. My back's killing me. I'm popping pills all day long. I can't hold my arms up anymore. I'm in so much pain. Yeah, I'm making a lot of money, but what good does it do me if I can't even go anywhere to spend the money? That's all I'm doing is making money. For what life? I'm wearing myself out. So then I learned leverage. Now, I want you to understand what leverage is. Leverage is when you get the hands of other people working for you. So you, if you're using your hands, you cannot create wealth. As long as I'm holding this pen to get paid, I cannot create wealth. If my hands are engaged with a pen on a piece of paper, in a person's hair, on a calculator, on a phone, I cannot create wealth. I must figure out a way to get other people's hands working for me so that I can remove my hands from the equation. So the way that it goes is you cannot create wealth with the works of your own two hands. You need other hands working for you or with you to create wealth. And those other hands are called leverage. Leverage. Okay? So I hired one person to work for me. I taught that one person how to sweep, and how to answer the phone and how to mix color so I could pee. That was it, because I couldn't pee all day long while I was doing hair because my hands were caught back, unless I took my customer to the bathroom with me, which, you know, got to draw the line somewhere. Then I taught that person how to shampoo. Then I taught them how to blow dry hair. And then I put them behind their own chair and I started putting clients in their chair and teaching them how to do what I had learned. I'll never forget the first lunch I took while work was still being done. I went pee while work was still being done. I ate lunch while work was still being done. I ran to my car one day and came back while work was still being done. That was my first experience of leverage. Then I could start double booking myself. Then I could book 2 people in the same hour. Then I could book 3 people. Then I started training people to do it in the next chair and the next chair and the next chair. And that is how I grew to do $3 million a year. I had 49 sets of hands working for me. 49. I built one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. Those are called employees. They're called leverage. Employees are what create big business. So I had 49 of these people working for me. 49. You name it, 49. That is how I was able to make millions of dollars. Okay? Leverage. Leverage. But I want you guys to understand something. I was doing $3 million a year. I was at the top of my game. I was in the top 200 fastest growing salons in the country. I had a 6-week waiting list. If we had an employee quit or for some reason had an opening, we had over 200 applicants that would come and want to apply to work in our place because we were that famous. But I had no life. I was owned by my customers and my employees because I was transaction-based. This is what I want you guys to figure out. Transaction-based means I have to create it over and over and over again. It's like real estate. You have to sell a home, then you got to sell another home, and you got to sell another home, and another home, and mortgage. I got to sell another loan, and another loan, and another loan. I got to cut another head of hair. I got to do another highlight. I got to color another head of hair, another person. So that is leveraged business. In this equation, when the lights are not on, there's no money being made. Do you see it? There's no money being made if there's not a customer in a chair and an employee tending to the customer. Do you see it? See it clearly? When you walk in a restaurant, it's the same thing. That's why restaurants are going out of business today, because it's a singular transaction. Just like construction, it's a singular transaction. A mechanic, it's a singular transaction. A painter, it's a singular transaction. If it's a transaction that must be done over and over again, it cannot stop being done. Therefore, there's no chance at retirement. Retirement doesn't exist when it's a transaction. This is what I want you guys to get. A transaction. Okay, now, this is where 5% of people in the world live. Now, think about it. Only 5% of people in the world make it here because you need 95% of the other people to work for the 5% to make it work. So once you learn how to become a 5%er, it's very easy to become a 5%er. This is what my goal is, to get you guys to have the lenses to truly understand when you're looking at a business equation, which I'm going to go through my businesses and I'm going to say, okay, here's one business. Where is this business at? So you guys can say, it's there, it's there. And I'm going to help you understand why when people come to me with business models, business opportunities, what are the things that I go through before I say if this is a good one or not, if I'm going to take this, because I refuse to put my feet and my time in my hands into something that isn't going to head in a certain direction. Okay? That's what I want you guys to learn. Okay, so if only 2% make it here, what is it that these people make here? Have you ever heard somebody say, I work so hard. I work so hard. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted by the end of the day. My back's killing me. My feet hurt. My hands are bleeding. I work so hard. The harder you work, the less money you make. I want you to let that set in. The harder you work, meaning physical labor, the more physical labor that you apply at a job, the less money you make. It's called manual labor. Manual laborers are the lowest paid people on the food chain. The cleaning ladies, the gardeners, those are the lowest paid, the hardest workers. Your journeymen, the ditch diggers, those people, the assistants, the barbacks, the people who work the hardest with their hands are the least paid people. So if you were raised on, you got to work hard, son. Son, you got to work hard. It's a wives' tale that was taught to you that I'm going to deprogram. The wealthiest people in the world, you don't know what they do. I don't know what the hell he does. He's always golfing. Damn, he's always on vacation. You know, he's always traveling somewhere. You know, where's he at? He's in Bora Bora this week. I had no idea. Okay. All right. So what is the equation that causes people to be able to go from here to here? Remember, business in a singular transaction. So ask yourself, okay, so I can make all this money, but is it a one-time transaction? Or am I going to get paid on it over and over and over again? Okay. So this is leverage, and this is where residual income comes in. Residual income. Now, I did not know what this was. This stands for investor, by the way. Anytime you can invest into something, like what the most common thing is that we all know is like an apartment complex. All right, so if you invest in an apartment complex or in Airbnbs or something like that, if you invest in an apartment complex or in real estate, you get that mortgage payment that people are owing. If you own a mall, a strip mall, and your tenants are paying rent over and over and over again. If you put soda, I used to own a soda machine company. I had soda machines. And back in the day when people had soda machines in all their businesses, I had candy machines, I had soda machines. And that's residual income because it was constantly getting filled up in quarters and stuff like that. Laundromats, same thing. Your washers, people are putting the quarters in, they're using it over and over again. Cell phones, believe it or not. You know when you go to the mall and there's those kiosks in the mall that say AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile? Those are not AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Those are franchises. Somebody paid $40,000, $50,000 for a franchise so that they could have a residual income business. They set up shop and they sell cell phone contracts. And when we, the customers, buy the contract from them, they enter the information into the system. And when they hit enter, it goes to AT&T corporate, Verizon, T-Mobile corporate, but it's got an ID dealer code on it. You go get your cell phone bill right now. On your cell phone bill is a dealer code. Every month that you pay your cell phone bill to Verizon or T-Mobile or wherever, the dealer on your account gets a little piece of your bill for the 2 years that you pay that bill. And hopefully you re-up your bill because it extends their little residual. Okay, I made millions of dollars like that because that was my first network marketing company. Okay, so now I studied business in the traditional world. What types of businesses make a lot of money? That's why I don't know if you guys know this, but I opened the first day spa in Palm Springs, not connected to a resort, like a Ritz-Carlton, because I had heard that you could make more money in the beauty industry by opening a day spa. You could do massages and pedicures and permanent makeup and all these, different services that you could do in your salon and make more money. I was the first one that opened, and I happened to have done very well in that because I rode a wave. I rode a wave of the economy, the way economy went. And then came the crash. So when the crash came, really grab this, what I'm going to tell you right now. Anytime a crash comes or a disruptor in the marketplace, we're having a crash right now. What goes away first are the non-essential businesses. Immediately went away the permanent makeup and the massages and the facials. And that's why right now you just don't see day spas. They're just not, they don't exist hardly anymore unless they're at vacation resort places, because they're not necessities. Think about your own life, even in our own hair. People are doing their hair at home now. People are not getting their nails done. Lipstick companies are going out of business. Makeup companies are going out of business because women are not wearing makeup right now because they don't have to. Okay, bra companies are hurting, and we'll just leave that right there. Let's face it, most of us don't have a couple $100,000 sitting around in our savings account wondering what we're going to invest in it. That's where a lot of the world is. So how do you create something like this is what I'm going to go through next. Now, for 4 months, somebody tried to introduce me to network marketing, and I was your biggest skeptic. Not even for 4 months, for years, people tried to introduce me to network marketing, and I always told them those things were scams and pyramids and they don't work and blah, blah. And I understand why I believed that. The same reason most people believe it is because their sister, mother, brother, father, someone in their immediate family wasn't a millionaire because of it. Okay, no one had done it and they weren't raised under that light, is really what it was. I didn't have anyone in my family that had taught, that had proved to me. I didn't even know what it was, because most people don't. Remember, when you are the one that is the leverage, I'm going to really blow your mind now. Hold on. When you are the one most people say that network marketing is a pyramid, right? When I heard that, I was like, well, then that's a good thing, because I'm a pyramid. I have 51% of stock in my company. My husband has 49. That's the best pyramid I want to be involved with. I'm the one at the top, right? Right below that, we had 3 assistant managers. We had 3 general managers, and then we had 6 assistant managers. And those assistant managers oversaw the field of all the employees. And who was at the bottom? We had 4 cleaning ladies. These were the hardest working 4, and they made minimum wage, and they worked their butt off, and nobody was going to pass anybody else up, because this is the structure of business. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's corporate America, the structure is the same. It's just the way they are, because people have more experience, and you have to have more experience to be at a job longer and to have more authority and more knowledge to oversee and train and manage all the people that are below you. Okay, so you have to have that. Okay, I want to make sure that you guys got, where does money come from? I want you to understand this. It doesn't matter in life. Money comes from people. A transaction is what happens between 2 people, okay? A customer is the one that purchases something from somebody, whether you're having an employee sell it to a customer or you're selling it to a customer. Relationships are where money comes from. I want you guys to remember that, because that's going to play a role. I want you to understand what leverage is. If you're working with your own 2 hands, you are leveraged. You've got to learn to get these guys working for you or with you, which is where we're going to go with that. I want to show you what residual income looks like. Okay. Now, most people don't have $24,000, $48,000, $72,000, $120,000, or $240,000 sitting in the bank. But did you know that $100 in residual income a month is the equivalency of having $24,000 in the bank if it was earning 5% interest, which it wouldn't because banks don't pay 5% interest. Okay, so when you learn the power of creating residual income, I'm going to tell you one reason why you'll run through fire, you'll tear down a brick wall, you'll lift a burning car when you learn the power of residual income. Okay, so today my life has an abundance of residual income coming into it, meaning that I've found systems, products, services, and companies that I've built residual income. Now, if I died today, which hopefully I don't die today, but what I can tell you is if I died today, I leave no stress to my family because all my residual income is going to continue to pay me. I'm going to give you an analogy. If I owned a cell phone kiosk in the mall and I sold all of you a cell phone at one point or another, if I died, you're still going to pay your cell phone bill. Does that make sense? You're still going to pay your cell phone bill. My account, my cell phone dealer account is going to get paid the money off of your cell phone bill, regardless if I'm dead or alive. Do you understand that? That is residual income. So what that means is if I die, my money is still going to continue to deposit into my family's bank account. I have, in essence, been able to create a legacy and an inheritance for my child. I have been able to make enough residual income to cover all of our expenses of living. So once you make enough residual income to cover your expenses of living, what is it that you are? You're free. You're free. You now own your life. Because we have residual bills, we drew them out on the board up there. All those are residual bills, but we don't make residual income. So if you can learn how to make residual income, and let's say hypothetically your car payment is $300. If you can learn to make $300 in residual income, then your car payment is paid for every single month, month after month after month. You following me? Okay, so you know what? I want to teach you all the ways that there is to make money. One is a job, trading hours. That's an hourly paycheck. Another one is salary. My husband has a salary job. My husband used to have the best job you could ever have if you were going to have a salary job. He's the COO of a global company. When the pandemic started, the manufacturing plant in China was shut down. His company was rocked because they are a video gaming accessory company and video gaming is skyrocketing, but their manufacturing plant is in China. So they went through this, and then they got the stay-at-home work order. So my husband went having to work the hardest days of his life. He's working so hard, and he's salaried. So he doesn't make any more money. And the harder you work when you're salary, the actual less money you make, okay? So that's another way to make money. Another way to make money is through leverage. And then residual income. I showed you what residual income. When you can learn to create residual income, start with your water bill, then go to your gas bill. Start with your small bills and start knocking out one bill and another bill and another bill and another bill and grow residual income until you have enough that all your bills are paid and your time is yours. Your time, you now get to live a yes life. A yes life is when you own every minute of your day and you get to do whatever you want to do with it. And you get to go wherever you want to go because you don't have to worry. That's a yes life. And next, I want to show you a compounding interest chart. A lot of people don't know what compounding interest is. We've heard of it. We've heard a penny doubled every day for 30 days is $10 million on the 31st day, but we don't really understand it because we're not going to go double a penny, okay? We're not going to do it. So let me show you this. Okay, this is a daily compounding calculator. So let's say that you started with $500 and you had a way to be able to make 2% on your $500 every day. In 1 year, 365 days later, and that's only 2% off of $500. You would have $688,000 after 1 year of just 2% interest. Okay, that was a game changer when I learned how to make money like this. Okay, the next one is residual leveraged income. Now, remember the leverage and then the residual income? I had leverage, but I didn't have residual income until I learned how to combine the two, how to get leverage with things that reoccur. So, for example, I'm going to use McDonald's as the scenario because everybody knows McDonald's, but not everybody understands the McDonald's story, okay? Did you know that the Golden Arches, McDonald's, Mickey D's. So every time that you go open up a McDonald's franchise, you own that franchise. Maybe you might own a second franchise, but each McDonald's is individually owned by a person. It's not owned by corporate. Every one of them are all over the world, all these McDonald's, all of them. But here's what most people don't know. This is the most perfect example of residual leveraged income in the world, but it's possible for one person, McDonald's. Every single night, 5% from every single one of these McDonald's goes to the house, every one of them. That's residual leveraged income. And that's how McDonald's makes so much money. That's the best form of residual leveraged income that I can give you an example of. So if you can find a way to have something that you can leverage that you get paid off of, now you're creating residual leveraged income. Okay, so keep with me. Here's my little cheat sheet. Okay, so now we've covered hourly wage, leverage, residual income, compounding income, residual leveraged income. Those are the 5 ways that you can make money in the world. That's it. There's 5 ways to make money. Now, how do you make it? Okay, now I want to go over some wives' tales that our parents taught us when we were young, that I want to teach you the way I teach my daughter. And write these down. You've all heard of this first one. You must go to school and get good grades to be successful. We all know that is not true, okay? If you don't, I'm here to tell you. This girl did not go to school and get good grades, and I became very successful. So I want you to know that it's possible. How many of you were raised on money doesn't grow on trees? Have you ever heard that one? Money doesn't grow on trees. My mom used to tell us, go out there and look in the backyard. That tree still doesn't have any money on it. That's how we were raised. I'm going to teach you what I teach my daughter, okay? I want you guys to believe me when I tell you money does grow on trees. I'm going to teach you how to plant the seeds. The trees are people. Where does money come from? People. Money does grow on trees when you learn how to plant the seeds. All right, the next one is, I'm sure you've heard this one. If it's too good to be true, run the other way. If it looks too good to be true, then it must be a scam. If it looks too good to be true, then it is. If it looks easy, it's not real. Have you ever heard those before? I'm going to teach you what I've taught my daughter. If it looks too good to be true, I want you to sit down, take notes, and ask a lot of questions. because that's called an opportunity. And I want you guys all to know the same opportunities cross all of our plates, all of ours, all of us. We all have the same opportunities in life. It's just that some of us are taught that they're not opportunities. So the next time somebody presents you with an opportunity, instead of shutting them down, telling them you're not interested or saying no, like I used to do, I want you to say, set up a Zoom with me. I want to hear your pitch. I want to ask you questions. I want to see the inside of it. I dig deep when people show me opportunities. I am not closed-minded. I have missed so many opportunities in my lifetime before I learned this, because I was told if it's too good to be true, run the other way. And I was told you can't do more than one business at one time. It's too hard to build one company. Have you ever heard that? So in my first network marketing business, I was told you have to stay loyal to this company. You can't do other companies. You can't build other companies. Don't talk to people at other businesses. It was almost like a cult, to be honest with you. I couldn't go to lunch with people that weren't in other companies. I couldn't get caught dead having friends that were in other companies. And now I understand why. They're protecting their herds, their sheep, they're protecting it. I get it. In my hair salons, if you were going to work for me, you signed a non-compete. You were not even allowed to take your shears out of the salon. We owned you. And the reason why is if you left our salon with your shears, you were going to cut our $200 haircut at home in your kitchen for $50. And those were my customers that I worked hard for. It's all part of the protection. It's all part of it. So do not let anybody ever tell you that it's too hard to build more than one company, because it's not. I'm here to prove to you that that's what serial entrepreneurs do. And if you listen to who the wealthiest people in the world are, they make it through multiple streams of income. And I'm going to go over my multiple streams of income with you. And in the end of the day, if you stop and think about what it is that we do, we have conversations with people. We discover their needs. We fill their needs. How are you going to fill their needs if you don't have an array of things that you can fill it with? Think about that. So do not buy that it's too hard to build more than one company, because it's not. We do the same thing in every company. The definition of business is to create a transaction between a customer to a product or a service for a profit. So if that's what we do on a daily basis, what's our inventory? We must have inventory. And I don't mean stuff like, I don't mean inventory like hard stuff. I don't mean like this. I don't mean physical inventory. I mean means and ways to fill needs that people have. Okay, the next one is, how much will it cost? That one will cost you a fortune. Have you ever said to someone, how much will it cost? How much does it cost? If I can tell you to remove that sentence from your vocabulary and never say it again, and replace it with this sentence, it'll change everything in the outcome of that question. How much can it make me? How much can I make? When somebody presents me with an opportunity, I do not even care how much it costs. All I want to know is, let me see how much it can make me. How much can it make? What can it produce? Not what it can cost. When you're speaking, how much does it cost? You're speaking from a broke mindset. When you speak, how much can it make me? You're speaking from an entrepreneur mindset. If you are going to become a serial entrepreneur, you must learn to think like a serial entrepreneur and speak like a serial entrepreneur. When somebody asks me, what do? I say, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I do many things. When someone asks you, what are you doing these days? I'm learning how to become a serial entrepreneur. I'm in training. I'm going to become a serial entrepreneur. I'm going back to school. What are you going back to school for? To become a serial entrepreneur. Really? What is that? That's exciting. Have you ever been told that wealth is created over a lifetime? Wealth is created over a lifetime. That's why our parents work their whole lives. Why do you think that people retire when they're 62 instead of 32? Why are you still working? Are you hoping to retire when you're 62? Why don't you retire now? Wealth is not created over a lifetime. Wealth is created in a few short years. Wealth is created in a few short years. I'll prove it to you. I've done it over and over and over again. In my salons, it took me hundreds of thousands of dollars in investments and constructions before I could get them built. I paid for payroll for 3 years. I paid overhead. I paid inventory. I paid for advertising. I paid all of that for 3 years before we made our first penny of profit, before we got back to even, because it costs so much money in traditional business with overhead and investment and capital and employment and services before you can get back to what you invested, before we even broke even 3 years. Have you ever heard that? If you can make it back to even in 3 years, then you have a good business model. That's how I knew I had a good business model, because I made it back to zero in 3 years. When I got started in network marketing, I made my first $1 million in 3 years. My first $1 million, it's documented, in 3 years. I invested $720, made my first profits in my first week, and my first $1 million in 3 years. There is a difference in the type of business models that I'm talking to you about. One requires brick and mortar and overhead and advertisement and employment. The other does not. It's an industry I never heard of. It's an industry that is not taught in school. It is an industry that must be learned. So many of you have been presented opportunities in your lifetime, and you did not seize those opportunities because of the price of what it would cost. That's got to change. Wealth is created over a lifetime is a false one that is wealth is created over a few short years. So what I'm here to tell every single one of you is that you can all be wealthy in the next 12 to 24 months beyond your wildest dreams that you have ever been, when you learn how to put all this together, which is where we're going. So congratulations for sticking with me. And this is the last one that I'm going to leave you with. And this is the absolute most important one to me. And I really want you to get this one, because I want you to never say these words again. Marriage is hard and takes a lot of work. That is the biggest lie you will ever be sold. Do not ever let anybody tell you that marriage is hard, because it's not. When you find the right person, marriage is the easiest thing you will ever do. You do not fight, ever. I am on my 3rd marriage. I finally got it right. We've been together 24 years, and people still ask us if we just met. We are still the cutest people we know. We don't know anybody that well, actually, Jay and Karen, but they're fresh. But we don't know anybody that has a relationship like ours for as long as we have. We do not fight. People don't believe it. And I'm here to tell you that that is real, and it can be. And the only reason it is because we learned how to communicate. We learned how to communicate. My husband and I took a 1-year course on communication to understand how each of us work, to recognize our character style, to learn our love language, to learn what our trigger points were, to learn how to communicate and connect and understand each other. And it was the best investment we ever made in our life. And that is what I've been teaching ever since now, over a decade. And I'm going to tell you all about that too. So don't ever let anybody tell you that. And don't you, if you're married, do not tell somebody else who's getting married, marriage is hard work. Don't let those words come out of your mouth again, because you're selling those people a false reality. And that's exactly what it is. All of those things that I just read you are false realities from your parents or from somebody telling you that, because it's not true. Okay, so now we're going to talk about network marketing. If you do not understand what network marketing is, I want to highly encourage you to read this book, go to my personal development page, and get educated. Network marketing is the second highest paid industry in the world over professional league sports. I want you to think of something in the world that you could do to make $1 million in 3 years without overhead, without a degree, without a license, without any special skills. I proved it. I didn't prove it once, I proved it 3 times. I've proved it 3 times with 3 different companies, plus my salon business. I've built to the top of my salon business. It wasn't network marketing per se, but it was network/marketing. Any business that's successful has a network. It's called customers. Any church that is successful has a network. It's called believers. Any famous author has a network. They're called fans, supporters, believers. That's what they are. It's a network of people, and you market to them. Network marketing is everywhere. Only in the industry of network marketing, you can make a lot of money without having to be an author or be a singer or be an artist. And I've proven it over and over and over again. Okay, so once you get into this world of network marketing, now I want to bring you into this world and I want you to learn what I know about it. Okay? It doesn't require any special skills. You are your own boss, which is why most people fail. There's 2 areas in life that people fail at repetitively, and I'm going to teach you what they are and why. In school, we show up when we don't want to show up because we're afraid of getting expelled or in trouble by the teacher because they'll tell our parents and our parents will bust our butt. At home, we clean our room and we do our chores because our parents will get mad at us and we don't want to get in trouble and get grounded or get the keys taken away. On the road, when we're driving, we only speed by a few miles an hour and we only roll a few stop signs because we're afraid of the police officer pulling us over and giving us a ticket. In the world, we don't steal things and we don't commit crimes because we're afraid of going to jail or having to get arrested or embarrassed or something like that. But there's 2 areas in life that we fail over and over and over and over again. The first one is being our own boss. The reason why we show up to work when we're hungover is because we're afraid of losing our job. But when we fire the boss and we're our own boss, when we're hungover, we roll back over and sleep in. The reason why we go to work when our friends are going to the river for the weekend is because the boss said that if we didn't show up, we were going to get fired. When we fire the boss, we go to the river instead because our friends are having fun. When we ask for the day off because it's some special event that we want to go to and the boss says, no, you got to work anyway, we go to work anyway. But when we fire the boss and that special event is happening, we go to the special event. Are you guys following me on that one? And here's the second one. When we fire our personal trainer. When we become our own personal trainer, we don't show up to the gym. We eat the pizza. We don't step on the scale. We don't have that accountability. We're no longer embarrassed or ashamed. We don't have that partner to tell us that you're going to work out and lift and 5 more, 12 more, come on, 10 more, 4 more. That is why fitness people hire coaches. That is why you must have a coach and a mentor to hold you accountable. Because when you fire the boss and you fire the fitness instructor, you get out of shape and you get lazy and you can't figure out why you don't get your stuff done. Another thing about network marketing. Why is network marketing so hard for some people? Here's why. In my salons, I invested hundreds of thousands of dollars. I showed up and I worked every day. I worked really hard. We built those salons from the ground up. I dug ditches, I painted walls, I did hair nonstop all day. I worked at night. I did it over and over and over again. I missed every kid event. I missed every weekend. I missed every holiday because people need their hair done on those events, on those times. I did not make a profit for 3 years. Then I made profits. Then at the end of the year, at the end of the journey, when the crash of '08 came, and I was going broke faster than I could ever imagine, when I was losing thousands of dollars a day, but I was working harder than I ever worked before. I got up earlier and I went in, I worked all day, I worked all night, I worked again. I worked till I was exhausted. I had sleepless nights. I sold off everything I could. I still showed up. I still showed up. It's because I invested hundreds of thousands of dollars. When you get into network marketing, you don't treat it like you invested hundreds of thousands of dollars. I did. And the reason why is because I needed to make millions. I didn't want to make $1,000 or $2,000. I wanted to make millions of dollars again. I had a lifestyle that was of that need, okay? I had big dreams. And when I saw how much money people could make in network marketing, I treated my business as if I invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in it. I got up when I didn't want to get up. I worked harder. I failed, kept showing up. I kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it until it worked, just like in my traditional business. So for me, it was a blessing that I had gone through what I went through, because I knew what it took to make money in traditional business. And I knew that if other people had done it, then I could do it too. But most people don't. And so it's the mindset and the lenses in which we see the way things are that we've got our hands on. People don't realize what they've got their hands on when they have network marketing in their hands. They'll still go work a job that's not going to pay them to ever become free, harder than they'll work their network marketing business that'll set them free, that'll cause them to make millions of dollars in a few short years, but yet they say, I just can't do it anymore. Or it's not working. But yet this is what they battle and they do over and over and over and over and over again when they know it's not ever going to work, because it's what they know. It's what they know. It's what they were taught. It's what they believed from their parents. That's why I want to unprogram your mindset and unprogram your belief system to teach you differently so that you can understand that you can get a different result. I can tell you firsthand what it's like to make $300,000 a month. I made $300,000 a month for years in the salon industry. $300,000 a month, making millions of dollars a year, no life, no time. I couldn't raise my children. I couldn't travel the world. I couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do things because I was owned by customers and employees. I got over into network marketing. And I'm here to tell you, even as little as $5,000 or $10,000 a month is better than that life any day of the week. Any day of the week. Because when you own your life and time, it's different money here. $5,000 or $10,000 here is the same as $300,000 here. Because this $300,000 comes with $150,000 of overhead. That's what my overhead was. My overhead was $150,000 a month. My payroll was $55,000 every 2 weeks. When you make $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 or $30,000 a month in network marketing, what's your overhead? What's your overhead? You don't have the employees. You don't have the electric bills and the cleaning ladies and all the inventory. Well, if you're not an inventory business, you don't have all that. So it's much different money here. And here you had no time. Here you have all the time in the world to cherish memories and moments, to go donate your time and volunteer and go walk the beach and travel the world. I promise you this life is more abundant than this life over here, because this life consists of residual leveraged income, transaction-based income, residual leveraged income. It allows you to help other people reach their dreams. In my salons, all I could help was people that wanted to do hair. If you wanted to do hair, if you said to me, Darla, I've lost my job, I'm losing my house, there's nothing I can tell you. I needed to know if you wanted to be a hairdresser and if you needed to work months before I could help you. In this equation, you can be losing your job, you can't make your mortgage, you could be sick in bed. I don't care what your story is. I'm changing the lenses in your eyes and I'm drilling down and bringing you down to now, how do you make it work? Okay, the evolution of a network marketer is somebody who gets introduced to a product or service. And I'm just going to pretend this, okay? So let's just say my friend gives me this lotion. Oh, I try this lotion on. Oh, wow. Gosh. Oh, that smells pretty good. Wow, that feels good. A couple weeks later, I'm like, oh my gosh, my hands are no longer cracked. Stuff is amazing. Hey, this lotion you gave me, I really like it. I want to order some more. So I order some. Cool. A couple months go by and I'm telling a friend, hey, this lotion, my friend is telling me her hands hurt. Oh, you got to try this lotion. Here, I have an extra bottle of it. Try it. My friend starts using the lotion. I forget all about it. She calls me up a couple weeks later and she says, hey, that lotion, I love it. My hands, it's just amazing. I want to buy some. I'm like, oh, well, hang on. Let me ask my friend. So I asked my friend, hey, friend, my friend wants to order some of that lotion. And my friend says to me, oh, okay, let me show you how to have her do it. And because you're referring her, you'll make a few dollars off of her purchase. Really? Oh, cool. All right. So I hooked my friend up with my friend and she orders some lotion and I get a check in the mail. It's only $5, but I get a check in the mail and I'm like, hey, $5? My lotion was only $12. I tell my friend, that's cool. I tell another friend, hey, I got $5 from selling you that lotion. She's like, really? Yeah. Do you still like it? Yeah. Share it with someone. You'll get $5. Okay. So she shares it with a friend and she gets $5 and oh my God, I got $3 in the mail. Hey, I got $3 from that lotion that you sold your friend. That's pretty cool. My other friend says, oh, well, they have some other stuff too. So then I get this stuff. By the way, this is from the same company. I love this stuff. And so I start using this stuff. And wow, this is awesome. I love it. What else do they have? And I go online. I'm like, oh my God, I love this. I buy their laundry detergent. Now, oh my gosh, it's all eco-friendly and green. Cool. This is what I'm going to start using in my home. I tell my friend about it. So this is the evolution process of network marketing. It happens to all of us. Okay. So then you start using the products. And then you start getting paychecks and other people start buying things and people start getting things. And that's the evolution of network marketing. People try it, they like it, it turns into that and that. And then once that happens, you start learning about network marketing. Through that process, you learn about this industry called network marketing that you didn't even know existed. It happens to all of us. Now, the evolution process of the network marketer is now you start understanding other companies, you start researching, you start going to seminars, you start reading books, you start meeting millionaires, you start getting introduced to people who make millions of dollars selling this cream and this product, and you start going to these seminars and you start getting on Zooms and meeting other people and hearing stories and you're like, oh my God, and you start dreaming again and you start realizing, wow. And then that is when you learn about compensation plans. So you learn about network marketing by somebody sharing the product with you. Then you learn about the compensation plans after you're already in the business and you're already making money. Then you start learning, how do you do this and how do you make money? And that's how it starts. Then you decide one day you're going to be a professional at network marketing and you start breaking down companies and breaking down inside the companies and you start learning them and then you learn about this thing called the top 100. Your business from home, and you look at the top 100 and you look at all these people that are making $1 million a month, $1 million a month, $700,000 a month. Are you kidding me? These people are making all of this money. And then that's when you start learning about an industry and you immerse yourself into learning it and then you find yourself flying on private jets and going on free vacations and driving free cars. And you guys, that's my story. That's how it happened for me. I have had free cars, Mercedes, BMWs, I don't even know, because I'm not a car person. Lexuses. I've helped so many people get free cars. I've won so many world-class vacations around the world. I've flown on so many private jets. I've done things that never in my life thought were even real. I thought that only celebrities did them because I got introduced to an industry that I knew nothing about. And I immersed myself into learning how it worked. I learned how do compensation plans work and what triggers the money and why would companies do what they do and how things, I learned all of it. I just became a study to it. Then you get in a company and then you learn, do you like your company? Do you like your upline? Now you start finding the company that you really want to be with and what companies you want to work with. And now that you understand it. So that's the evolution process of the network marketing. That's the evolution process of a network marketer. Okay, so here's what I look for in a company. I get presented with companies all the time. I look at every company that somebody sends me. If somebody even has the courage to try and prospect me, I give them the courtesy to do that. I don't shut them down. If somebody wants to Zoom with me to show me their product, I have no problem with it. I want to see what it is because it helps me to be able to help that person as well, because that's my goal. I love this industry. There is no company that's better than another company in this industry. And I'm going to talk to you about that too. I love the industry. I want to help as many people as I can in the world find the right company for them, because that's what I do. I teach people how to find the right company that fits their profile, fits what it is that they do, what their character style is like, what their network is like, what their time is like. If they like to sell, if they don't like to sell, if they're an extrovert or an introvert. I love that. That's what I love. And so when you say things like your compensation plan is the best, it's the biggest turnoff. Don't say that, because how would you know if you didn't look at them all? When you say your product is the best, don't say it. You don't know that. You haven't tried all the other products. And if you're just believing what somebody told you, then you're believing like we did back in the day that you could only do one company. So be mindful with the words that you use when you're talking to other people about this industry. Lift them up, celebrate them, congratulate them, pat them on the back, cheer them on. That's the beauty of this industry. Okay, what I look for in a company. Is it a single transaction pay or residual transaction? When somebody presents me with a business, I don't care if it's in network marketing or in traditional business. I have traditional businesses too. I want to know, is it a single transaction or is it residual income? Because I will not sink my feet or time into a single transaction business. I won't do it. I'm building a residual income legacy for my daughter. I'm building a residual income legacy for my daughter. Okay? I want to build so many streams of residual income that when I die, her only thing that she needs to do is figure out what her life purpose is and how to give that money away. Because I've taught my daughter how to be a giver. I want her to have enough money that she can go do ministries and missionaries and build and give and help and do all that. I want her to be a servant, and I want her to have enough money to be able to serve. That's my inheritance now to my daughter. How's that for an inheritance? How would you love it if your parents left you that inheritance? Please let me hear what that would make you feel. Tell me I'm doing a good job. Okay. Is the product a service? Okay. Is it a product or a service? And is it an essential or non-essential? Is it a product or a service? And is it an essential or non-essential? I want essentials, not non-essentials. Okay. I learned from being in a non-essential business, when there's a dip in the economy, it's really hard to find people to buy it. I've done that. I've been there not once, but twice. In the salon business, people cut back. It's non-essential when things get rough. Then I was in a product-based business, a health and wellness business. What do people cut back on when things get tough? In my industry, in that time, they cut back on products that they could buy cheaper elsewhere. Okay. Do I have to stock inventory? I don't want to stock inventory. For me, that's my thing. I do not want to sample products and stock inventory. I don't want to play doctor. I did that already. I don't like the energy that comes from trying to convince someone that they don't have diarrhea from my product or the rash isn't from what I've given them. I'm done with that. I did that. I did it in the salon business with all of our skin and hair care products for 19 years. Oh, this made me break out. Oh, I got a rash. Oh, my face broke out. You know, I had to do that. And then I got into a health and wellness company and I had to do the same thing again. And I said, no more. I don't want to do it. That's personally just me. Do I have to stock inventory? I don't want to stock inventory. I don't want to provide samples. I don't want to play doctor. One thing that I look for is what triggers the money. What triggers the money? I will ask people that. I want you to tell me what it takes to trigger the money in the compensation plan. And what does it take to get your product for free? What does it take to trigger the money? And what does it take to get your product for free? That's what I want to know with every single compensation plan, every single product that people bring me. What does it take to trigger the money? Meaning, what do you have to do to make a paycheck? And then the other one is, what do you need to do in order to either get the product for free or make enough to pay for the product? Because I want to see that equation with every company that I do, that I look at. The next one is, I always go to look to see if their company is anywhere on the top 100. If any one of their leaders are in the top 100. Now, it doesn't mean that I won't do it if the company's not there. I want to tell you why I'm looking. You're going to have companies that are great for making a small amount of money. Then you're going to have companies that are great for making large amounts of money. There are two different types of reasons why you would do network marketing. For some people, $500 is a lot of money. An extra $500 a month will keep them out of bankruptcy. For me, I'm looking for $50,000 a month. I'm looking for $1 million. I'm looking for the bigger monies. So I have a mix of all companies, and I'm going to tell you why. We're going somewhere with this for a reason. And the most important one that I want to know, and it's not the deciding factor, but it tells me how much energy I'm going to put in that business, is do I need to keep recruiting in order to keep my paycheck? That's a big one in the industry. And a lot of companies have it because they don't want you to retire. So do I have to keep adding another new person? Do you have to keep recruiting? Do I have to add another new person every once in a while or once a month or to keep a rank or something like that? Do I have to build another leg? Do I have to build another team in order to keep my paycheck status or in order to keep the overrides of that company? Okay. It doesn't mean that I won't do it. It means that I won't put all my effort and energy into that because that's the type of company that won't allow you to retire. So I want to be able to go unplugged for 6 months and not have to worry about recruiting and adding new people. If it's a company that I have to keep adding and recruiting, that's not going to be my focus company. Now I'm going to talk about the 11 ways that we make money. I'm going to go over all 11 ways of how we make money, and I'm going to quiz you to see if you know what type of money that is. Okay. So this little thing we started 5 years ago turned into thousands of dollars, and it's called Acorn, something very small. Have you ever heard of Acorn? Acorn is, it's an app. Jim did it. It's an app where it rounds up every purchase you make. So when you spend something like $1.39 at the store, it rounds it up to $2 and it puts it in your app and it invests it for you. And you can make a small percentage of money on it. So Jim hooked up Acorn on all of our accounts and then we forgot about it. We just let it set. We let them build. Okay, so that was one thing that we started a long time ago. Compounding interest. Very good, you guys. Very good, Marie. Compounding interest. Hello again, and you're probably wondering why I'm looking a little different than I did 3 seconds ago. I got up this morning, the day after we did the workshop, and started editing down the video. And by the time I got to the end, I realized that the video had stopped recording. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it up. I was on my way out the door to go to the gym and run some errands, so I had to make a decision. Do I go get dressed again, put on my clothes from yesterday, redo my hair and makeup, and miss going to the gym and running my errands? Or do I let you accept me just the way I am? And so here we are. So I'm going to pick up where I left off. And I left off at going over the 11 ways that we make money. And since last night, since today, I remembered there's a 12th way, and I'm going to add that one in there too. So the first one is Jim's job. Okay, most families have somebody who has a job in their family. Jim works for a salary. Since COVID hit, he works longer hours than he did before. So technically, he makes less money per hour now because he's working much longer hours for the same amount of pay. Okay, so that is a job. It exists in the E quadrant. Remember when we drew out the cash flow quadrant? That exists in the E quadrant. Okay, next is, many of you have known of my company that I've been in for 5 years. What it started with was Send Out Cards. Send Out Cards is a company that I will be with until the end of time, because Send Out Cards is a system that allows me to build relationships. It allows me to stay in touch. And remember, I told you I'm all about relationships, because building networks is nothing more than putting a group of people together. Remember, it doesn't matter if they're customers, followers, fans, supporters, believers, or friends. That is where money, opportunity, referral, and love come from. Right there, your network. So Send Out Cards is the core foundation to all of my businesses. Oh, technically, I build one large network that is put together through lots of little networks, if you really want to think about it. So that's Send Out Cards. Now, Send Out Cards is a team of people that are like me, that understand the value of building relationships. A lot of these pictures back here are my customers. They are not all in network marketing businesses. Many of them are in traditional businesses. They use Send Out Cards to show appreciation to their customers, because they too understand the importance of leveling up relationships, putting a personal touch in relationships. They celebrate birthdays and anniversaries and deaths and mournings and loss and thank yous and referrals and all that sort of stuff, like I do. Okay, so that's Send Out Cards. So it pays me residual income and leverage, because every single one of those people that use Send Out Cards are leveraged, because I also get paid off of every card and gift that they send to their customers. Send Out Cards happens to pay me enough to cover our overhead to live. So technically, just off of this company alone, I am free. This doesn't even count all the other companies that we also do. Okay, the next one is the one that I showed you, because I had these little props. This is what I was spraying my board with, and this is my hand cream that I use. This is my health and wellness company that I use. It's called Melaleuca. I use all their products in my home, my skincare, my hair care, my laundry, that sort of stuff. And just like Send Out Cards, because when I send a card, somebody's touched and they reach back to me and they say, how did you do this? I want to send these to my customers. The same thing happens with this product. I'll give you one little analogy. My daughter did a load of laundry for one of her friends. Her friend loved the way the laundry smelled so much. The friend says they're never going to wash their clothes again. It was so much that Bella even pulled up the page of where to order the product so that they could see the pricing of the product so that the family could order the product. That's how that works. Now, this company, the objective with this one for me is to be able to get all my cleaning supplies, my skincare, my healthcare, my protein powders, my snack bars, stuff like that, paid for, so that it's basically free food, free laundry detergent, free skin and hair care products. And that's what I focus on. How does the money work for this company, and how do I get my product for free? Okay, so that's another one. My next one, where I get a check from a company that I don't even use the product, is a health and wellness. This is the one I forgot about. My husband reminded me of it. A health and wellness company we were with many years ago, where I got a lot of customers to use the product. I still collect a check. We still collect a check from that company. I don't even use that company's product anymore. I haven't bought a product from that company in years because I found a new product. That's just how it works. But I still get a check from that company because of the customers that still order products. Now I want you to stop and think about that. That check is only a couple $100s, but that couple $100 over and over and over again could pay for our electricity. So technically we have free electricity. When you think about residual bills and you can build a check of something that is residual, then what you've done is you've just created a residual payment on something that you don't have to go to work for to create again. That's another one. Okay, my next one is one that I'm going to show you on my phone. Now, many of you got this card for an invitation to this event. So hang on one second, I'm going to share my phone. Okay, so this one is called Shuffle by Elify. You'll see it right here. This is what the logo looks like. And what these are is these are digital connection cards. These are links that allow me to send information to people so that I don't have to send people to a website. Because when you send people to a website, then that's where they get distracted and they run off down rabbit trails, or maybe other marketing companies will grab them and start cooking them and that sort of stuff. So for example, here's my workshop. I sent this card to a lot of people. Now I sent these cards individually, so therefore I can tell when people are clicking on them, and it tells the information of my workshop. And down here, you'll see, here's a 5-minute video describing the workshop. Here's a direct link to my PayPal, so they can make payment right here. And this is a direct link that goes straight into Zoom. So I don't have to spend the time collecting money from people and sending them emails to get registered. It's all automated right there. So that's one way that I use this one. Another way is for my send out cards business. Send out cards is getting ready to add 6 new streams of income. So right now they're promoting for that. And when somebody signs up for that, I send them this card that has all the next steps of what they need to do in order to get hooked up with that, so they're in great position for those 6 new streams of income. Another way that I use it, my husband launched a business 6 months ago, so I have a card that is just for him that we would send to people that has a little video telling about his new business, how to get started and how to get plugged in. I use it for many different things. My book, for example, if somebody wants to order my book, I can send them the direct link. This shows them right where they can go to pre-order, and it sends them right to my website where they fill out the information for their address, and I don't have to go collecting all that stuff. I've got a happy birthday card and a Valentine's Day card, and you can see when you look at these, like right here, I've sent this card 325 times, and it's been viewed 1,081 times. It tells you how many sends and how many views. Now, you'll also see how down here where it says activity, it tells me who's looking at my cards. Like Amy Turk looked at the card for a better way. Amy Turk looked at my 2021 workshop card. That's where she got registered and signed up to take the workshop. And so you'll see this. Karen Francis got her workshop. So that company is my digital connection card. I use it all the time. It's a tool in my human connection toolbox. Remember, I'm all about building relationships. I'm all about building this huge network filled with people that know I care about them, love them, and like them, that I can fill services and needs with to help their life grow, which leads me to the next one. The next one is called Be Connected, what we're on right here. If you're paying more than $12.99 a month for the largest plan that Zoom has, I can help you with that. I was paying $199 a month for my Zoom because I needed all the bells and whistles and more than 100 seats. I needed the 500 seats, and I needed the transcription and all that kind of stuff that comes with the bigger plan. I, like a lot of people, started with the free membership. Then I upgraded because I needed the next level of services that they provided, which took me to $40 a month. Then I upgraded again, which took me to $199 a month. I was paying thousands of dollars for my account. Well, now I'm paying $12.99 a month for the same exact platform, but the largest plan, which I was paying $199 to for Zoom. So therefore, that's another tool in my human connection toolbox that just so happens to pay me for every person that I refer. Think about what network marketing is. It's nothing more than you referring people to products or services or companies that allow them to get started and use their service or product, and you get paid for the referral. Industry, when I was a salon consultant, I would get paid $30,000 to fly around to salons and teach them how to become a high-end salon. and how to create memberships and learn how to do highlights and be different and unique than their competitors. That's what I got paid for back in the salon days. Then when I got out of the salon industry and I learned how to build networks in the network marketing industry, I then became a network marketing coach. Then I learned how to become a relationship development coach. Today, I teach a program called MAHC, M-A-H-C, which stands for Master the Art of Human Connections. I have hundreds of clients that I coach and mentor all over the world. These are my clients back here. Again, these people are in business of all different kinds, learning how to attract people into their life, build networks, and create connections that get people to go tell all their friends about them. It's where, again, referrals, opportunities, friends, and love come from. People to relationships, to relationships. Nothing matters more than learning how to build relationships. My Human Connection Toolbox, it has companies and industries that have to do with building relationships. My coaching program is what people need so they can learn how to become presenters, speakers, connectors, attract people into their life, learn how to communicate, connect, listen, to change the lenses in their eyes so they can have vision versus sight, so they can see opportunity, to learn how to remove the toxic words from their vocabulary so they can create attractive connections versus distracted disconnections. Okay, so that's another one. And that is residual income, because residual income is a monthly membership and an annual membership where people repay a bill over and over and over again. Going back to LFI is residual leveraged income, because it just so happens when you send a card to somebody, they say, oh my gosh, how did you do this? The same thing. I want this for my business. So we have hundreds of clients in that business, and they're all sending cards and using the service, and we're getting paid every month as they reoccur that bill. And the same thing goes with Be Connected. I wanted to know how does the money work in each company? How does the money work? How do I get it for free? And how do I make money in this business, in this business, in this business, in this business? Because I know I can sell the product or the tool because I'm going to use it. And therefore, when I use it, other people see the value of it. See my Human Connection Toolbox? It's no different than a regular mechanic with a toolbox. He's got wrenches, and I don't even know what tools. I'm going to act like I know what tools are now. Go there. Tools and screwdrivers, wrenches, screwdrivers, measuring tapes. You can't construct with one tool. How's that? Okay. Next is my virtual assistant business. This one started a couple years ago when I hired one person to do a little bit of work for me. And that ended up growing to a full-blown business with customers all over the world and a team of VAs all over the world. Now, let me tell you about this business. That is a traditional business. That one has employees. That one is very much like my salon. It comes with customers and employees owning you. And depending on if they show up for work that day and what kind of mistakes they make or what kind of whatever, that is business. So that one is not a type of business like network marketing. That is traditional business. Okay, events like this one. Learn how to communicate and connect. Learn how to articulate and learn how to have posture to get in front of a camera and teach people something that you know. Maybe you're a mother of special needs children and you can teach your special needs parents how to make money from home so that you can develop and create a program that you can sell one day as a course for people to be able to buy and be able to learn from, become a coach, become a mentor to many. That's what this is, to learn this. I was very fortunate enough to sell over $5,000 worth of $79 memberships. Because of that, I paid it forward and I was able to gift out free seats for people who said to me, I would love to take your program. Money is so tight. I've been furloughed. I've been laid off. I'm living the roughest days of my life. Allow me to let you be my guest for this program so that you can learn how to change that dynamic. That's what learning how to become a presenter, a communicator, a speaker, that's what learning these tools will be able to empower you to do, so that you can make money to pay forward to help others one day, okay? Because your time is worth money. But when you make enough of it, you can then use it to help other people. Okay, now that is one-time transaction. This event that I held was a one-time transaction, singular transaction. It's not something that you can get rich off of. It's not something that will make you money once it's over. It's like my hair salons. It's a haircut. It's like real estate. It's a sell of a home. It's like mortgage. It's one loan. It's like mechanics. It's one fix. It's like restaurant. It's one sell of a food item. You need it to happen over and over and over again. So that's the quadrant of this business. I am. Okay, so Jim, as you know, started with an academy 6 months ago. Now, I want you to think about school and education and trade skills. If you were going to go to a trade school to learn the trade skill of doing hair, it would cost you around $10,000. And it would take you a couple years of your life before you're able to even start practicing to make money to pay off that debt. The same goes for school and college. People get college debts of $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $400,000. Master's degrees cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Jim found an online academy that happens to cost a couple $100 a month to learn a trade skill that he does not have to sell one thing to anybody. He doesn't have to stock product or inventory. And it just so happens that that academy is layered on a network marketing business. So how does that fit into our life? Jim is going to school to learn how to trade, become a professional trader, so that he can replace his income of his salary job, so he can retire by the end of this year. Okay, that's what his goal is. His I am statement is, I am so happy and grateful now that I have made $1 million in my trading account by the end of 2001. That's my husband's I am statement. He reads it every single morning when he wakes up, and he repeats it multiple times throughout the day. And 6 months into his trading academy, he is learning how to bring that to life, and he's doing it through compounding interest. Compounding interest. 2% on $500, 2% a day on $500 is $600 and something thousand by the end of the year. So what is 2% on $1,000 or 2% on $750? That is exactly what he's learning how to do in this academy. Now, it happens to be layered on a network marketing business model. I build networks. I do not go to the academy to learn how to trade. There's also another thing you can learn in this academy, and that's e-commerce. How to set up a Shopify store, how to find a product, find your audience, set your ads, and sell units, okay? How to be a third-party drop shipping. If you know what online shopping is, most people do it, and that's really hot right now. I don't learn how to do that. I don't learn how to go to school. I don't go to school to learn how to trade or to build an online store. But I have that as another tool in my human connection toolbox when I'm speaking to people and I'm interviewing them and I'm saying, tell me what type of lifestyle you have. What are you looking for? What's your network like? Are you an extrovert? Are you an introvert? Do you like to sell? Do you not like to sell? Do you have an hour a day or 4 hours a day? Let me run a couple things by you to show you a few things that might fit in your wheelhouse, then letting that person decide. Okay, that's how I work. That is a serial entrepreneur. Now, we are building a large network in that business because of that relationship. My husband is not doing the selling. My husband is doing the training to learn how to trade. Okay, makes sense? Now, that is residual leveraged income and compounding income. Remember when I was talking to you about some companies you can make small amounts of money with, and some companies you can make large amounts of money with? Remember the top 100 list that I was telling you about from Your Business from Home? If you look at the top 10 money earners, 5 of the top 10 are from the company that my husband is in. And that's because of the type of money that is built in that business model. Okay, it's all about understanding how the company pays, what triggers the money, and what type of money is it. Okay, remember those things. All right, next is a second level to my coaching program. My coaching program teaches you the art of human connections. This one is on how to create wealth to be able to pay off your debt. This teaches you how to get your bills paid off, how to create compounding interest, how to build stores, how to do all that sort of stuff that creates the income so that you can pay off your debt and create an empire. That's what that one is for. So there you go. There is all 12 ways that we make money. I am an opportunist. I am a serial entrepreneur. I am constantly looking at companies, products, and services to see if it fits in my human connection toolbox. Okay, now how to set a plan. You got to decide and commit that you're going to take on this journey. It doesn't mean quit your job. No, my husband hasn't quit his job yet. It means that you start with an hour a day. It means you hire a coach and you join a program. Let me coach you and develop you. I have been doing this for decades. I've been teaching people how to reinvent their business, how to reinvent their life, how to learn how to communicate, connect, and attract, how to build multiple streams of income and become diversified and stable so that you can weather any future storms, how to get through the tough times that you might be going through today. And I've proven to you that it can happen in a few short years instead of over a lifetime. And I've proven to you that it can happen with a very small amount of money compared to a large amount of money like it used to be. I've proven to you that in this world, we need to take control of our own economy and that it is possible to build our own economy. Stop relying on the government, stop relying on a job and another job and another job when it's been proven that it doesn't exist and it can't happen when you take those paths. Identify your triggers. We identified our triggers throughout this whole process. The people that were holding us down, we let them go. The people that were holding us back, we let them go. The things that were holding us down and holding us back, we let them go. Many of you know we've just completed over a year of sobriety, but we recognized that drinking was heading down paths of wasted time. And so we removed ourselves from that situation so we could take that time and invest it into growing ourselves. Find a group of people by plugging into a company. Any company that you choose to join is going to surround you with people that are on the move, that are going to encourage you versus discourage you. It's very easy to find a network of people to plug into. I will help you find that network. Immerse yourself into personal development. Go to my website, darlad.com, click on the training tab, go to personal development, and start knocking down those books. You can get them in audio now. That list was made back before audiobooks were made. Okay, listen to one every day. Go take a walk and listen to one. Become a student. If you don't have these books, message me. I will personally send it to you in the mail. I want you to learn how to become a master and a professional to the industry. And I want you to learn how to create momentum in your life. Okay, how to do these things. Take on a winner's mindset. A winner's mindset is someone who says, I'll keep at it and I will not do what quitters do. A winner's mindset is, I'm not going to do what quitters do because quitters never win. Winners never quit. And you keep at it and at it and at it. But you need a mentor. I'm telling you, you need a coach. You need somebody that you can call and say, I got knocked down today. Can you pick me back up? I'm having a bad day. I'm having this. I'm that. Can you help? You need that personal therapist, almost is what it is. We all have them. Even coaches hire coaches. Okay, we all do it. Do what winners do. Winners invest into their mindset to sharpen this skill. They don't invest into physical, they invest into mental. I am statements. You've got to write your I am statements down every single morning. You got to read them over and over again. Remember my husband's I am statement? I am so happy and grateful now that I've made $1 million in my trading account by the end of December 2021. My I am statements. I am so happy and grateful now that I am in total control of what goes into my mouth on a daily basis. I repeat that every day, at every meal, every morning. When I face food. I repeat it, and it's all I need to hear. And that's why I am healthy. I am in the most healthy shape that I've ever been in. And I'm not meaning muscular, I mean internal body health, as far as being clean inside, cellular level health. My other I am statement is, I am so happy and grateful for the quality of people that join our businesses on a daily basis. I don't have to go out and find business. Business comes to me because I have learned how to attract it through my actions that I put out. Okay, this is all what you'll learn when you're going through MAHC, which is learning how to master the art of human connections. Okay, grocery shopping without a list. Would you ever go to the grocery store for Easter dinner, a birthday special event, a party, Christmas, Thanksgiving, to go to your grocery shopping without a list? Never. You wouldn't do that. You would sit down and make a list. You must do the same thing in your life. You've got to learn how to calendar map. You've got to learn how to schedule your success. And I know when I ask you, what do you keep on your calendar? It's doctor's appointments, get the oil changed, the kids' recitals, stuff like that. That's not what I'm talking about. Show me your calendar and I'll show you your paycheck. Show me your calendar and I'll show you what your future is going to look like. I'm talking about learning how to layer in your money-making daily activities. Learn how to do that. If you don't know how to do that, you will learn that in MAHC. Learning how to master the art of human connection also teaches you how to calendar map and time block and what needs to be on your calendar and how to put it in there and how to live by what your calendar says. How to say, no, I can't right now, and let me tell you why. And that's what you're going to learn through MAHC. All right, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this event today. I want to have a Zoom with you. Schedule a time with me. Let's talk, let's connect, and let me see how I can help you. All right, everyone. Make 2001 the best year ever, because it's going to be. It's filled with all new things, all first, and tons of opportunities. Bye.